Greetings and welcome to Hexed Encountered. I'm Joe. In this video, we will be playing one of the scenarios from the Blue and Gray Deluxe Edition from Decision Games. This is Antietam, the bloodiest day, 17 September 1862. Of course, covering the Battle of Antietam, as you can probably guess. And this is the creek for which the battle is named. Of course, many in the South call it the Battle of Sharpsburg, and Sharpsburg is right here. So this was during Lee's 1862 invasion of the North, and McClellan, leading the Army of the Potomac, caught up with him at in this area here. It's kind of between the Potomac River, which you can see parts of along these areas here, and the Antietam Creek. That's where Lee was focused or had his army centered pretty much around Sharpsburg. He chose this area to make his defense because the Army of Potomac was chasing after them, trying to catch up and obviously end the invasion of the North. So McClellan was a fairly cautious general, I guess you would say, to be somewhat generous. And Lee, of course, was a very good tactician. So despite the fact that the Union had almost 2-to-1 in terms of army size, the battle was essentially tactically a draw, but it turned out to be a Union victory because it did force Lee to retreat back into Virginia and then the invasion of the North. And then a few days after the battle ended, Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation. So that all led up to, this battle led up to that happening because he needed some kind of victory, even though it wasn't much of a victory because McClellan didn't follow it up and take advantage of his numbers. He didn't even commit his entire army, which, as I said, was about twice the size of the Army of Northern Virginia. All right, so let's get started in this one. Let's talk about real quick what the specifics of the this game, the Antietam battle, what it has as special rules for it. So the Union will be the first player in each turn, and I'll go through it as we play. But if you haven't, if you're not familiar with this game, I did Shiloh previously, and there are a couple videos on that where you can check out how the game works. There's also a first look video that talks about the rules, goes through the rule book, and that's probably a good place to start if you're interested in how this system works, because there are 8 battles within the Blue and Gray Deluxe Edition game. So as I mentioned, Union goes first in every turn. There are 10 turns here on the turn track. You can see that. I have some reinforcements out on the turn track for when they appear in the game. The Union and the Confederates. So yes, both players will receive reinforcements. They're on the player aid card for this battle. I probably don't need to show you that, so we won't worry about it. But victory conditions, victory is determined by the accumulation of victory points. Victory points are awarded to each player according to the victory point schedule for the elimination of enemy units in the possession of Sharpsburg. So here's Sharpsburg. Each player starts off with 0 victory points. Each player keeps track of the victory points he has scored on his respective victory point track. That looks like this. This is the Union track. There is also one for the Confederacy, as you would expect. The victory point schedule. So basically you get 1 victory point for each enemy strength point eliminated. Confederate units which cannot at the end of the game trace a line of hexes free of enemy units or zones of control to hex 0126, which is this one right here down in the corner. It's right here. It's a little bit off camera. If I slide this up, it's this guy right here, which, as you can see, is a ferry crossing on the other side of the Potomac. So this was Lee's tradition, Lee's way of getting out of the area. And as I mentioned, McClellan didn't really do much to pursue. He sent I forget who the general was, but he sent someone in pursuit, and they ended up being defeated because I think it was Shepherdstown. Yeah, Shepherdstown Road. So it was Battle of Shepherdstown. The Union lost that, and Lee successfully got his army back into Virginia. So you also get 15 victory points for control of all 4 hexes of Sharpsburg. And the controlling player is defined as being the last player to have a unit occupy or move through the hexes. No victory points are awarded for individual hexes of Sharpsburg. One player must control all 4 to receive the victory points. And the Confederate player controls Sharpsburg at the beginning of the game. Victory levels are stated as a ratio of Union victory points to Confederate victory points. The Union gets a decisive victory with a ratio of 2 to 1 or more. Union substantive victory is 1.5 to 1, but less than 2 to 1. Marginal is greater than 1 to 1, but less than 1.5 to 1. Confederates are 1 to 1 or less, but greater than 1 to 1.25. Confederate substantive victories greater than 1.25, or less than 1.1 to 1.25, but greater than 1 to 1.5. And then anything 1 to 1.5 or less is a Confederate decisive victory. Okay, so there are some movement restrictions to kind of reflect McClellan's kind of sluggishness in this battle, which here in the book, it's under 14.4.1. Let me just show you this. It's right here. It says the Union player may only move 15 units on game turn 1. He may only move 10 on each of the following game turns. There are no limitations on the number of units which may attack. Union reinforcements do not count against the restriction on their turn of arrival, but do on following turns. All movement restrictions are permanently removed from the Union player and the Union player turn following the movement of any Confederate unit across a creek hexside. From this point on, the Union player is free to move all units which are capable of movement each turn. So if the Confederates move across Antietam Creek, all the movement restrictions on the Union are off. So as a Confederate player, and I'm going to do this solo, but obviously this is a 2-player game. As a Confederate player, you kind of have to maybe decide if it's worth it to try and push across the creek or just play on the defense, hold on to Sharpsburg, and hopefully those 15 victory points will add up to enough that you get the win. The Confederate units which begin the game in hexes 0517, that is here. They're in a box, actually. I think that's true for all of these. They're in a gray bordered. Well, they're all the hexes are kind of gray bordered, but heavily gray bordered, bolded. 0517, 0416, 0715, 0714, and 0613. Yeah, there's all these heavily gray bordered ones, aside from those in Sharpsburg. They cannot move on turn 1. Union has rifled artillery. The Union artillery units are immobile. You can see some here on these ridges. We got here and here, here. I think that's it, actually. I set this up a few days ago. And once placed, they may not be moved during the course of the game. If forced to retreat due to combat, they are eliminated instead. They are not affected by a retreat. Combat results when attacked solely by enemy artillery units. Union artillery units function in exactly the same way as other artillery units, except they have a range of 7 hexes. There are some optional rules. I won't play with the optional rules. We'll just let that go. For now, the Greater Union Initiative, Total Union Initiative, Early Confederate Reinforcement, Early Union Reinforcement, Optional Reinforcement, and No Confederate Disorganization. Okay, I have zoomed in some. So historically, and what I'm going to do as well, is that the Union attacked the left flank of Lee's army. So that's this group here, because they're already across the creek. That makes things easier because you can only cross at bridges and fords. So there are only a handful of places where the Union can actually push across from east, which is this direction, to west. So north is this way and south is that way. All right. So there are exactly 15 units here. So what we want to do is see if we can isolate somebody and attack them. Now we have to figure out a good way to kind of increase your odds, because that's what you want to do. So the Union gets to move first. He can move 15 of his units, which, as I said, covers this entire group. So we should probably, I think, move as many of these guys in as possible, because we want to put pressure on the left flank of Lee's army, because movement here in the middle is going to be difficult because you have natural choke points as units cross the creek. They have to cross at a bridge or a ford, which makes it easier for the Confederate player to defend those areas. So the terrain, we've got roads, but the roads really, all they'll do is, if you have a road that goes through forest or something like this, it reduces the effect of the forest hex. Let's say this up here cuts through this forest area. Would be 3 to go through it. If you were coming in from, say, here, going in here, it cost you 3. If you came in from here and went up there, it would only cost 1 because you'd be on the road. Clear also cost 1. So there's the roads aren't. I mean, this was obviously the Civil War. We didn't have motorized vehicles. The benefit of road was that you could march through terrain that might otherwise be difficult to walk through, like woods, for example. So, having said that, we have this guy right here. Now, the other thing to remember, of course, is that you have to attack. If you get into an enemy zone of control, you must attack the unit. What do we want to do with this guy, right? Or maybe we don't want to move him first, because, again, units will exert a zone of control in all 6 hexes that are around them, unless it's broken by impassable terrain or something. Like, they can't exert across if you had a unit here, anything across the creek, these 3 hexes would not be in his zone of control, because he can't cross the creek. You can only cross a creek at a bridge or a ford. Same thing with the river, basically. And there is an additional movement cost for crossing bridges and fords and so forth. So let's move. I'd like to kind of take care of these guys down here towards the bottom. So if we let me move this up, because you didn't even see who I was talking about. So we won't be able to see some of the units at the top, but this unit here is the southernmost unit, along with these 2 over here. So since we're focusing on this area, I figured I would zoom in and you can see the units a little bit better. Of course, the only number on the counter is its strength, its combat strength, basically. So I would like to make this ineffective, basically. Take a shot at this artillery, because the Confederates have artillery in various places. We have one over here, we have one here, there, and here, and then this is cavalry. So let's take this guy here, and we'll have him move here, which costs 1, and then through forest costs 3. Okay, so that's 4 total out of 6. Everybody has 6 movement points. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that wouldn't do anything for me. I didn't think it would, but I had to check. Ideally, I could get somebody into this hex. Now we see here he's on rough, so he's going to have a defensive bonus doubling his value of 2 to a 4. So right now we have a 4 against a 4, basically, because he's doubled. So let's improve our odds a little bit. We'll go 1, 2, 3, and then we can go 1, 2, 5. You can have 2 units stacked in the same hex. So now we're at basically 12 to 4, which is a 3 to 1. And 3 to 1 is pretty good, because you don't have any negative effects. That's the first one where the worst you can do is an exchange, which would still be bad, but you're going to have exchanges at 4 to 1, 5 to 1, and 6 to 1 potentially as well. So it's best to just try this. Now, that takes care of that. That'll be one of our attacks. Now we can move these guys forward as well. And I'm just going to move them both together, because they're going to the same place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I guess. We'll put them right there. So that's 8 to 3. So that's like a 2 to 1. Then we can move. That would be 3. Yeah, he can't get there because of the road. I could move him here. That would only cost 1. Then we could go 1, 2, 3. Now we have 9 to 3 potentially here. And then we would have a 2 to 1 here, which is a little bit more risky because there are some attacker retreats in there as well. As well. Yeah, there's a couple of attacker retreats. All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We should have 9 left. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I miscounted somewhere. There are 5 here and 3 here. That's 8. We moved, 7 here, so that's 15. Yes, I am able to do math. Okay. 1, 2. Yeah, we're just going to put them here. Then we'll take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So close. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll do that. Put him here. Then I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's move him here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or we'll just go here for 6. Then we got these 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do this. All right. Okay, so that would end my movement phase. I moved 15 units. Now we'll do attacks. Okay, so we'll start down here. We've got 12 to 4 because he's doubled. Okay, so we roll 1d6. We got a blue one and we got a gray one. So I'll use the blue one for the Union. Let me just kind of tuck this in here so you can see it. Oof, you don't want to roll high, you want to roll low. So a 5 at 3 to 1 is defender retreats. So he has to retreat, and he'll retreat this way. And we'll also move these guys up here, like so. Okay. Actually, I think you can only move 1, so we'll just move that one. I think that's the rule. If I remember correctly, advancing after combat. 1 victorious unit. Yes. Okay. All right. Here we have 4, 8 to 3. I'm going to roll that as a single attack, which will let me also attack that one. So that's at 2 to 1. So we need anything less than a 5. And we got a 1. A 1 at 2 to 1 is retreat. So he has to retreat. He can go here. All right, making a mess with my chunky fingers here. We'll move him up, which is probably a bad idea. So actually, I will not move him up. Now here we have a 4 and a 5, so that's 9. That's 3 to 1. We got a 3. A 3 on 3 to 1 is also defender retreat. So he will move back. And I'm going to advance my 5 in here. Leave the 4 out here. Okay. Now here we have 8 attacking 5. So that's going to be a 1 to 1. This is literally dicey. 1, 2, 3 good. 4, 5, 6 not. And it's a 4. All right, so the attacking units. Wait a minute. What was I attacking? This one? 4. Oh, right, that 5 came from there. So it's these two attacking these two. So these guys have to retreat. So we'll move them here so that they're not in there. Okay. So if you watched the Shiloh game video I did, I used the optional rule for attack effectiveness, where if you were forced to retreat as the attacker, you would become ineffective for the rest of the scenario till the night turn. Since this is a one-day battle with no night turns, I'm not going to use that rule. All right, so I have other things I can do. So let's do a bombardment. Okay, so we have 3 artillery here, rifled artillery with a range of 7. So you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can reach down to here from there. So that's pretty decent. Okay, so since we have 3 units, 4, 4, and 5, that adds up to 13 if we use them in concert with each other. And so 13, we could attack a 4 strength unit, like say Anderson here, at 3-to-1 odds. So let's do that. We're going to attack Anderson right here, GB Anderson. He's obviously within range. He's only 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's definitely within range. And we rolled a 1. And at 3-to-1, a 1 is defender eliminated. So we remove, actually, let me check that. Okay, just wanted to confirm that he is indeed destroyed, and he is. So he will go out and go on the eliminated unit box. And that completes the Union's first turn. So now we'll go over to the Confederacy. So the first thing we'll do is we'll take this cavalry and move it here with the artillery. That's 6 in that hex, and then this is 4. So now we have the ability right now, and I may add more, to attack this infantry unit, although it is now in that rough terrain and gets doubled. So that is something to consider, that we may want to attack somewhere else instead. So let's look at our options here. We have Hayes and JR, JNS. I'm not sure who that is, but he could move. There's 5 here. I also wonder how useful it would be to actually, attack when we could concentrate on setting up. Well, you know what? This is tough. We have a natural attack right here, and we have a lot of units that we can use to hit that unit with. So I think that one we will keep, because Forest does not double the defender. Towns and rough forest, which that is not. Broken hexes is tripled, but I don't know that we have any broken. Yeah, there's no broken. We've got clear. Hit it again. Clear forest, rough, and yeah, you can't see that because it's off the shot right now. Sorry about that. All right, so looking here, we got a 5 here. We've got 3. That's 5. 3 is 8. 11. And another 3 is 14. So not quite 3-to-1, but if we add the bombarding unit, if we add this artillery to it, that would get us there. But again, that's a combat thing, not a... let's do this. We're going to move him here, and that's it. Okay, he can do that. And then we're going to move him here. And let's put our artillery up here. This is the sunken road, by the way, the famous sunken road from this battle. So now we've got a couple of artillery units here together. And then we're going to take Hood. We're going to put him here. So now we've got maximum attack value for that. Now let's see. We have units in these boxes here. These guys cannot move in first turn, so we will not do anything with them. I'm kind of, because I do want to keep that Union restriction to 10 units movement. I don't want to push across the creek. But we also have to figure out a way to deal with these guys. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we wouldn't have any defensive bonus there. But I'm going to move Jenkins up here. Actually, I'm going to put them both here, because that gives us rough. That's double the defensive value. Then we can move Evans up here, right there. We'll stop him there. I'm going to move GT Anderson as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think I'm going to keep the rest of these where well, these I have to keep, but I think I'm going to keep the rest of these down here, kind of where they are. So here we have what? 6, 10 attacking 8. That's not great. If we added that, that would be 14. That's still not great. 1, 2, 5, 6. That would get them there. So let's do that. Actually, yeah, why not? Let's put them there. The only problem now is, well, let's take this guy and go 1, 4, 5, or we could go here. And then he could go 1. Yeah, that's through the forest though. 1, 2, 3, 6, 3, 4. Nope. All right, I'm just going to put him here so we can get a 2-to-1 attack on this guy. All right, so now we'll move to the combat phase for the Confederacy. And what we're going to do first is this one up here. So that's a 5. He's in forest, which does not double. It's got 5. Confederates have 5. Plus 4, plus 4, plus 3. That's 7. That's 12, 15, 18 to 5. So that is a 3-to-1. And we roll. And they got a 2, and a 2 on a 3-to-1 is a retreat. So he has to retreat. He'll back up. Okay, they can advance. I'm going to go with they're not going to advance because they've got a nice little thing going on here, right? Although, now that I look at it, I don't know that they could have done that because they would have had to attack this one as well. So that would have been 18 attacking 9, because you can do multi-hex combat. 18 attacking 9 is a 2-to-1, and a 2 there is also defender retreat. So these guys would both have to retreat. And we'll put him here and him here. And now as far as advancing, I still don't think they're going to elect to advance. So they just kind of repulsed them, a little counterattack, push them back. And now let's do this one down here. So we've got 2-to-1 here. We'll do that one first, right? It's 4, 4. Yep, 2-to-1. That's a 4. 4 at 2-to-1 is defender retreat. So he's going to retreat here. Actually, no, he'll retreat here. And now this one is 4, 2 is 6, 10 to 4. That's 2-to-1 as well. Oh, a 6. That's bad. That's attacker retreats. So these guys all have to retreat. And again, I'm not using the rule that they... Oh, and I was going to bombard with this one, and I forgot to do that. So I think... So it's 2 to 3 hexes away they can reach. So they could bombard here, but the 5's already been attacked, so he would not be able to be attacked, but we could attack the 4, I guess. So 1, 2, 3. It's only this guy that can attack that one, though. And that's 3 to 4. That's really not worth it. It's 1. That would be 1 to 2. Well, we can do it because the worst thing that happens is we roll a 3 or higher, which would be attack or retreats, but that doesn't apply to artillery, and we rolled a 3. So nothing happens there. 1, 2, 3. We can do the same thing. We'll do the same thing with this one, attacking that one. And it's a 6. And at 1 to 1, that's attack or retreats, which does nothing. Or 1 to 2, rather, it would be attack or eliminated, but they also are not eligible to be eliminated. So that ends turn 1. And we'll move on to turn 2. Here, and we go back to the Union, and now they can only move 10 units per turn. So again, we'll start here. And let's see, what do we want to do? Let's see if we can put some severe pressure on this stack of 5 right here. So if we move this 6 here, and this 5, and this 10, 4 and 6. That would be 10 and 11 is 21 to 5 is a 4 to 1. 4 to 1 is tough, man. I would say that you're better off with a 3 to 1 than a 4 to 1, because a 4 to 1 you have 2 exchanges. But as the Union has a much larger army, we can afford exchanges a little bit more than they can. So we're going to go for it. Now we also have up here a 4 and a 4, and they have a 3 and a 2. So that's 8 to 5. So I'm going to move these guys here. And then I'm going to take this 5. And we're going to go 1, 2. Rough is 3. So that's 5, 6. And let's move these 2. Well, how many have I moved? I got to count now. We moved 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 3 left I can move. So if we move 1, 2, we'll move 1, 2, 3. So now we have 16 to 8. They are not in good defensive position. It's only a 2 to 1, but that's okay. All right, so now we'll start with this one. It's 2 to 1. And we rolled a 6, which again is attack or retreats. So pull everybody back 1 hex. Now we'll do this one up here, which is, what was that, 21? Yeah, 21 to 5. So that is 4 to 1. And we got a 5. And a 5 at 4 to 1 is an exchange. So they have a 3 and a 2. So they'll lose Ripley. They'll choose to remove Ripley because he's a lower one. And the Union will lose one of the 4s, I guess. Or the only 4. So we'll do that. Okay. Yeah. So that was not good. We lost a 4 and they only lost a 2. What I should have done, and this is a rule you can employ, is you can choose to use lower odds. So if I had done a 3 to 1 there instead of a 4 to 1, if I had said I'm using only 3 to 1 odds, that would have been a defender retreat. But the bonus here, I guess, is that they lost a unit. We lost one too, but they lost a unit. They have fewer units than we do. So overall, maybe that's not the worst thing in the world. So now we've got this one up here, which is a 5 and a 4 and a 4. So that's 13 to 5, but they get doubled. So it's basically a 1 to 1. So we got to hope we roll low, and we do. We roll a 1, and at 1-1, that is a defender retreat. So they have to pull back. Now, retreats don't do us much good. We want to eliminate units. So ideally, what you want to do is actually surround them, because if you can surround them, then you can eliminate them, because they won't be able to retreat. And if you could get it at 3-1 odds, where the worst you can do is an exchange, that's a good thing. All right, I think that's all the attacks I had. I only had 3. So let's use our artillery again, and let's hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one might not make it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I'd really like to take him out. All right, let's try Jones. Let's go after this artillery unit. And well, the terrain makes it a 6. 5, 9, 13. It's 2-1. Why not? Let's try it. A 1. A 1 at 2-1 is defender retreats. I have to go down off their perch there. So that ends the Union, and now we'll go to the Confederate turn. So let's see what they want to do here. Let's move this cavalry unit 1, 2 here, and then we'll move these 2. We'll simply move here. Now that's 12-4, so that's 3-1. And in theory, I could use this guy as an added 2, but I don't need to, and I'm not going to. Because at 3-1, as we already established, you have pretty good odds. There is no doubling for the forest, so that's pretty good. Now, what else we want to do? This guy is stuck in an Ezok right now, and the odds for him are pretty bad. And there's no way for him to leave that hex. He's stuck there. He's engaged, essentially, so he cannot move. So we have, from the Confederate side, we have a decision to make. Do we want to reinforce him, put another unit in there, and hope that we can do some damage? I mean, we can move up a good amount of firepower if we want, but our units are less powerful than the Union units, and we have fewer of them, which argues in favor of trying to preserve Trimble's unit. But let's just say we moved Hayes and JR up here, so that, but then they would have to engage these guys. Like if we just pushed everybody up is what I'm thinking, right? Like we can move Jones back here, right? Now we have 3, 3, 3. That's 9, but he's got 5, 11, 17 around him. And ooh, this is rough here. We have to do something to try and help him out. So we're going to have a multi-hex combat here. We're going to put Hood here to make that a 7. Then we'll put Lawton here. And we'll move Colquitt 1, 2 there. And we'll use our 2 artillery for support. We'll move Law here, right? Or maybe we won't. Maybe we won't move Law up. We'll move Law here and leave him outside of the combat area, but as there's somewhat of a screen for SD Lee there. So now we would have a total firepower of 6, 9, 12, 16, 19. And 19 against 17 is 1-1. That's about the best we can hope for. Now, I'm not going to start combat yet, but we can now release these guys down here as well. And it may be to our benefit to move them in this direction to kind of, try not to take too much damage on this end of the this side of the battlefield, the left flank. But on the other hand, we don't want to weaken our ability to react if the Union starts to send forces this way, which did happen historically. This is called Burnside's Bridge. Burnside was the commander of this portion of the Union line, and he was committed to pushing across here. And it was a lot of bloody fighting in this area, as well as down in the Sunken Road. So this is interesting. What do we want to do? We've got a nice powerful unit here, and we get AP Hill's. This is the most powerful unit in the game. It's a 16, as you can see. That's really strong. And this one here is a 10. This is the strongest one on the board currently. And we could easily move him here. We could go 1, 4, 5, and put him right here at the bottom of Burnside's Bridge along with Toombs. That would be a 12 there, which would make it really difficult for the Union to push their way through, but they could try. They could try because they can use artillery, right? This hex, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, it's within range of all 3 artillery units. So that gives them 13 extra firepower. I think I need to do this to protect this area. So they're going to have 12 here. Now, getting attacked across the creek hex side does not apparently do anything for you. Only that you can attack across bridges and fords. This is a bridge, right? Now they're protecting a ford. Let's move Kemper to protect. I think he can get there. 1, 2. Yeah, he can get there. 5. 1, 2, 3, 6. So now we've got 4 here, 4 here. We need to protect this crossing as well. So we'll move Pickett up there. Yes, this is that Pickett. 1, 2, 3, 4. And Washington is, let's move Washington up as well. Let's leave him there where he's on good high ground. Okay. I'm going to move these two. 1, 2, 3. We'll put them here. I'm going to put these 2 here just so that we have fire brigade, essentially. Which way do we need to go, depending on what happens here, especially. And then I'll move Armstead and Pryor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put them there, and I'll leave this grouping here in the middle as my reserve. So let's attack. Got a 4 here, 4, 8, 12. That's 3-1, as I mentioned. We're going to attack. And we rolled a 5, and a 5 at 3-1 is defender retreat. So they'll retreat here. Now we can advance. Let's advance Lee there. It's a little bit risky because they now have a 3-1 there, but you can hope that you just get a retreat result. Then it makes it a little bit better. So let's see, what else do we want to do? We want to attack up here. So here we've got 6, we've got 17, if I remember correctly, 6, 12, 17, 22. Then we have 3, 6, 7, and 11. Wow, that's terrible. And then these 2 would make it 17. How did I miscount this? Totally miscounted that. But moving anybody here would not do any good. So that's going to be a 1-2, I guess. So we got to hope we don't get attacker eliminated here, because this would be disastrous. Oh my God. All attacking units are eliminated. That is really hard. Really hard. Well, I did it, so I got to pay the price. This is going to really make it difficult on the Confederates. That was dumb because I miscounted the fact that we had 6, 16, and 6 more is 22. That's legitimate. Um, Defenders can't advance, if I remember correctly, so we won't. But yeah, that's tough. We did keep our artillery because they're immune when they're bombarding. Oh, okay. So let's have this guy attack over here because why not? It's 1 to 2. And it's a 4, and that's not going to do anything good. That's an attack or retreat, which does not affect an artillery unit that's bombarding. So now we would go to game turn 3 here. And man, I really I really screwed that up. All right, so we've got 2. Yeah, that's not going to work. I could put them here though. And again, that gives me 4 to 1. I could move them here, but then we have this hex to attack as well. 1, 4, 5, 6. That might make it worthwhile. Because then we'd have 12, and they'd have 12. Plus 2 more would be 20 to 12. It's still only 1 to 1. Well, I think we need to try to take advantage of what we did down here. So let's take these 2 here for one thing. So this is going to be 2 of our 10. So now we've got 4. We got 8 to 4. So that's 2 to 1. That's not bad. And if we move... I'm going to go here. 1, 2. Then I'm going to go 1, 4. 1, 2, 6. And we'll take these guys and go 1, just 1. And we'll move him here. All right, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 2 more. So let's try and make things interesting for these guys down here. I have a 4 here. I have this nice, big, powerful 9th Division, or 9th Corps, sorry, right here. I can only move 2. And we have to get to a ford or a bridge. So he goes 1, 2, 3. They can't attack each other because of the creek, and he's not at the bridge hex side. That's a key point. Then we'll take this guy and move him here as well. So that's 12, and this guy will stay. So that's my 10 moves. Obviously, we're not doing combat here. Although I could. They have 12, we have 12. I could, yeah, see, but then again, that's about the best odds you're going to get. 1 to 1 though is dicey. The only good part about it is if you know what, I'm doing it. We're going to move here. Now they're in a zone of control. Like there was no zone of control here because they can't exert it across a creek hex side that is not bridged or forded. So, but here they are. So now that's 12 to 12. I can't really do enough, I don't think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I can. So that's 13. Yeah, that's gonna be 2-to-1 odds. So that's not bad. So let's do it. We're gonna attack this bridge right here, Burnside's bridge. And we got a 4, which is what we did not want to get. And at 2-to-1, 2-to-1 is defender retreat. So we'll have him retreat here, and we'll retreat him here. Or maybe I'll retreat them both there. And then we'll push our 7 across and hope he can hold it, because we can only advance 1. But my next movement in turn 4, I'll be able to move this guy in here. All right, now up here, we've got three hexes we're going to do on the defensive side. So 3, 6, 8, and then here we have 8, 12, 22. So 22 to 8 is 2-to-1. So again, we need to roll a 4 or lower. And we rolled a 1, and at 2-to-1, that's a defender retreat. So we'll back Garland up here so he gets the benefit of defensive terrain. And the 2 artillery units will back up here. Then I think we can advance. Oh, wait. That wouldn't have changed the odds either, but this guy will also have to retreat, because he would have been one of the hexes attacked as well. All right, so I think that we can advance into each hex that was previously occupied. So we'll move him here. We'll move him here. Come on. All right, and then we'll do that. We'll do that. And then these guys just stay up here. All right, that's the end. Oh, wait, we do have this one down here as well. That's 12 to 4. That's the 3-to-1. We rolled a 6, which is an exchange. So they lose their unit. It's a 4. So we also lose a unit. We'll lose the 4th here. All right. Well, the Union is winning so far because we've eliminated more of them than they have of, well, the Union has eliminated more Confederates than vice versa, right? Since I'm playing both sides, I should stop saying us and them, we, etc. All right, now we can move the rebels here. What do we want to do with these guys? Let's make it harder for them to push us too much. Let's rework our line here. Try and solidify this thing. Well, we definitely need to firm this up. So let's move 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to send Semmes and Cobb. They would go 1, 2, 1, 4, 5. Put them in there. And he needs to move up 1. So we'll put him here. 1, 2, 3. Because we have a lot of mandatory attacks to make. So let's make them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll put Pickett here to bolster that. And then we'll send Barksdale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's about the best I can do there. And now here we have 15 to 7. So that's a 2-to-1. So we just hope we roll well here for the Confederates. They rolled a 1. That's a great one. A 2-to-1 1 is a retreat. So he has to pull back. We'll move our big guy up here, and we pushed him back across the bridge. All right. Now we got this whole mess here. So they've got 5, 10, 16, 22. And the Confederates have 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 35. 35 to 22 is still 1-to-1. Yeah, it's going to be 1-to-1 even if I use that artillery, and so I'm not going to. It's a 3. A 3 at 1-to-1 is actually defend or retreat. So everybody has to pull back. And that actually worked out. Oh, they're doubled. Doubled here. We're doubled there. So we've got 5, 15, plus 12 is 27, plus 12 is 39. All right, so that was actually a 1-to-2, and on a 1-to-2, that's an attack or retreat. So everybody has to move back. So that was a not so fast, my friend, kind of situation. And they would definitely go there. Put them here, here. These would have to pull back further. Okay, so they're getting pushed back towards Sharpsburg, which is what you would expect to happen. So that ends turn 3, and we'll go on to turn 4. I will do that in the second part. So that's going to do it for this one. Thank you for watching. I hope you got something out of it. And we'll come back and watch part 2 later on. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. If you have any comments, you know where to put them in the old comment section. But for now, we're done. So I'm Joe. This is Hexed Encountered. And until next time, as always, happy gaming.